Hey Psychthoughts fans, welcome back. As we know, we're kind of talking about Carl Gustav Jung. Yes, what a unique fella he was. But today in our line as we're going to talk a little bit about a fable. Yes, Carl liked to talk in fables, and we're going to talk about a conquest to search out, slay the dragon, and get the greatest reward. Sounds crazy. So why don't you come with me today on Psych Thoughts as we talk about individualization, or how Carl thought the subconscious, the collective conscious, and the conscious all needed to come together for whole times. So let's go. Now, as you know, we was talking about Carl, and Carl was a huge follower of Freud, and so he had a lot of different ideals about the conscious, the unconscious, and another concept that he called the collective unconscious. Now, his ideal about the collective unconscious was all these thoughts that we share with our ancestors that kind of inspire us along the way. Freud didn't like that idea a lot. But along the path, he kind of developed this idea, what he called a process called individualization. Okay? And this was basically where Carl thought that if you could combine your consciousness and your collective unconsciousness and also the shadow, we'll get to that in a minute, and kind of like work them together and have this journey in the mind, that you could find wholeness in yourself. Now, Carl kind of had a long, drawn-out definition of what he really thought individualization should be. He basically thought it was a process where you basically transformation of your personality, your collective unconscious are brought together as one. Okay, so it's kind of like you find everything about yourself, everything that's going on, everything that motivates you, everything that's there, and you become aware of it. Okay, and he kind of, when he's talking about it, he said that the concept is one that he felt that in therapy this was the ideal goal, because one must fully confront and accept their shadow self. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. This shadow sounds kind of weird and scary. The shadow was kind of a bad thing, but it was also a good thing in some situations. And in the next coming video, we're going to kind of dive down a little bit more deep about only the shadow knows about who we are. Ooh, I can't wait. That's exciting. Nah, maybe not. I don't know. We'll just see. But Jung compared the journey as if it was a fable, as a knight on a quest to slay a dragon. And the harder the dragon, the greater the treasure. And so Carl really believed that as you work through all these different things and all these neuroses, and you kind of worked on your way, the more you conquered it, the more the treasure you got. Carl really believed a couple of things, that if you were eclectic and took a little of his ideals from here and there, his main ideal and his main focus in this in therapy is that once we confront all those things and we come to understand them, then the energy that we would radiate, or having more confidence in ourselves, having more confidence about what we're doing, having deeper personality, having more empathy, better abilities to have intimate relationship with others, all these things would come from us. So he believed tackling these hard issues and all these different things would cause us to radiate out, and so that everybody would say, well, that person's a lot better. They're much better because they're whole. Okay, and so once we liberated ourselves and we were free of all these other things and we were whole, he kind of thought we have individualization. Okay, and this really helped us along the way. Carl had a quote that he said one time. He says, "Until you make the unconscious collective and make it part of you and make it direct you, life and you will basically, you will call it fate." Basically what he was kind of trying to say in a roundabout way is that once we take control of our inner self, once we can take control of all those things, it's not fate. We are the masters of our own destination. And that we're not masters of our own destination because we don't deal with all these hard issues and things that are underneath in the unconscious or collective unconscious. And so Carl worked with a lot of his clients in psychotherapy and psychoanalysis to get to this level so that they could deal with their shadow self and the collective unconscious and become much better as a person in the long run. I hope that you enjoy these little bits of knowledge about different people in psychology. As I told you, we will be talking about Carl Jung, and we'll talk a little more in detail about the self, because the shadow self is kind of a really odd thing. And his ideals were very unique, but they did progress a lot of work. He used a lot of the ideals about individualization and stuff when he worked with children. Also, he progressed very much with psychotherapy with children. As always, I hope that you like this video. If you like it, just hit that like button. If you want to leave a comment below. Make sure you hit that notification button so that you know when more of these videos are usually released. We usually release new videos on Wednesdays and Fridays. And so until next time, psychology is pretty much everywhere. And if you don't watch out, it's going to get you. See ya.